Hello, hello. Today I'm actually gonna make a commentary on a premium ship that I've had for a while, but I haven't really gotten around to make a commentary. But I feel it's very actual now with the missions going on that require a ton of hits. Basically, you need to score main battery hits over and over again, 2,000 or 3,000 of them, and this ship, the Blyskawica, is actually fantastic at doing so. If you can tell, it has 4 guns in the back, both two turrets with double turrets, and 3 in the front, 2 turrets, 1 double barreled and 1 normal barreled. So it actually has a total of 7 guns you can use, which is almost as much as the Khabarovsk, which has 8 guns. It also has 120 mm guns, but unlike the American shells, it actually has really good trajectories, which means that you are able to basically farm hits from range. And thanks to the concealment, or basically the fact that you don't get the Russian penalty, the Russian gun penalty, it means you can stealth fire very, very comfortably on the ship. It also has a good rate of fire, which ultimately means this is probably one of the best ships at basically just farming main battery hits. Like you can see here, I'm undetected. You can see the rate of fire. It's not as impressive as some other DDs, but it is good, and you can comfortably score hits at even 12, 13, 14 kilometers. Okay, that wasn't a good example since he was turning to avoid them. Let's see if I can get a somewhat better better example here to show it off. That guy's turning away, got a fire. The fire chance isn't bad. Fuck, I can't actually remember what it was right now, but I remember it was slightly better than the American ships. But for example, okay, I'm detected now, I'm a bit too close. I don't think it's actually the Cleveland that's detecting me. It's something else. Yeah, it was something else than the Cleveland that was detecting me, probably a DD somewhere. But you can see, stealth firing, scoring hits, and the damage isn't bad either, considering you're basically stealth firing them. That was 3k in that volley alone. It's for the current missions, which are all about main battery hits, this might honestly be one of the best ships. Like, maybe there are of course ships that are probably better, like the Khabarovsk, but the Khabarovsk isn't as good as stealth firing as the Blyskawica is, because the Khabarovsk is a Russian DD, meaning it suffers from gaining the additional penalty to detection when it fires. The reason they added that was because in the beginning you could stealth fire very easily on the Russian DDs, and they were kind of broken, overpowered because of it. So they nerfed that aspect of the ships. But the Blyskawica doesn't have the Russian guns, so you're still able to very comfortably stealth fire on the ship. Note that I don't have a 15-point captain, so I don't even have the 5-point concealment perk. If I had that, I would be able to stealth fire even more comfortably. So when it comes to stealth firing, this is honestly one of the best ships possibly in the game. Like, this is very, very strong at this aspect. Looks like their carrier deleted our New Mexico, and they have a Nicholas charging in. I'm obviously going to go intercept him, because this Blyskawica actually has very, very nice firepower. It's not, the AP isn't as strong as the Russian guns that are better at penetrating, but the sheer amount of basically shells this ship can lay out, and with very good arcs, makes it extremely potent against, well, hitting cruisers with HE and basically fighting other DDs. As you can see here, I'm quite far away, and I'm basically just raining down fire on this guy. He needs to start avoiding. He's good trying to kill the kamikaze, but by trying to kill the kamikaze, he's at the same time leaving himself completely open to me. And I'm basically just sailing parallel to him and just raining down fire on him. Yeah, he got deleted. Wouldn't have minded getting that kill, but whatever. Pensacola. Oh, he's grounded. Gonna turn my guns around. The turret traverse rate is quite good on this ship. It's like a balance between the Russian and the Americans. It's not as good as the American, but it's not as bad as the Russians. So it ends up being actually a pretty nice balance. You can see how fast the turrets are turning. I think it was something like 18 seconds turret traverse, which isn't bad at all. It's like high tier Russian guns. What is this guy doing? He's obviously shooting me, no point risking damage, gonna smoke up here. I have this kamikaze scouting for me. You can see here I'm using AP instead of HE, because obviously this is a Pensacola, which is very lightly armored. So I see the damage potential is higher using AP against him than HE, provided he starts turning. I expect he won't keep... yeah, that's exactly what I was expecting, him to turn away, because straight course would have eaten torps and straight course would have sailed right into our base. And here, even if I'm not getting citadels, although I hope I'm getting citadels, but even without getting citadels, the damage is quite comfortable, and you can see just how strong this combination... oh, there we go. Citadels and the kill. So both the AP and the HE on the ship is very strong. And because it has so many guns, the actual DPM the ship pumps out is very impressive. Switching back to the New Mexico. No need to sit in the smoke, because once again, I can stealth fire. As I mentioned earlier. Okay, something detected me. I know it's not the New Mexico. But honestly, at this range, it's unlikely the New Mexico will hit me. I wonder what's detecting. It's gotta be... they still have a DD left somewhere. Could it be here? No, actually I'm close enough to the New Mexico now that it could be just the New Mexico. And dodging the AP shells. Oh, he managed to get one hit. Basically, AP usually over-penetrates and does very little damage to your DD. But when you dodge like I did, the idea is obviously to completely avoid the shells. But he managed to get one shell which basically penetrated the length of my ship, and that's when AP does the most damage. You probably had if you're shot with AP against DD, sometimes you get these insane damage numbers, and that's basically what just happened to me. I took one hit that did 4k damage, just one shell alone, and sometimes you get these absolutely insane volleys that do deal 10k AP damage, and that's how they happen. Basically the DD turns and it happens to penetrate the length of the ship, and it does a chunk of damage. I'm so close to this Colorado now that I'm gonna see how AP does. Yeah, penetrating quite easily. The problem with US battleships for shooting them with DDs is that US battleships have a very high reduction in the HE damage they take. So while the fires are nice, the actual damage you deal with HE is very, very pitiful compared to the damage you would deal against Japanese battleships. That's why often in situations like these I opt to use AP instead. You lose out on the additional potential damage you might get with fires, but the overall DPS you deal is much higher, simply because, well, it doesn't suffer from the HE reduction. And you can see the damage I deal is quite nice. The kamikaze smoke ran out. If you didn't see, I actually scavenged I saw him smoke up, so I charged into his smoke to use it for me. That's something that you should do often on the Blyskawica, because obviously while you can stealth fire, the closer you are, the more potent your AP is, and the closer you are, the easier time you have to land your hits. In this case, I scavenged the kamikaze smoke, and then when it ran out, I popped my own smoke. This way I'm able to stealth fire, or able to basically offensive smoke and fire at this from a very close range, which of course is very useful. And considering, as we talked about in the start, the missions to score hits, as you can see, I've already broken 200 hits now, and it's not even halfway through the game. So when it comes to completing these missions, not only is the Blyskawica quite a fun ship and quite a powerful ship, but for these missions especially, if you want to get them done in a hurry, it's hard to find a ship that's much better than this ship at doing it. Of course, there are ships with better fire rates, like, we have Gearings, Atlantis and so forth, but neither of them are as good as stealth firing and as reliable, basically, at dealing damage while remaining stealthed or in cover, which is what the Blyskawica is so strong at. Here you see I switch from US to Japanese battleship. So as soon as I switch to the Japanese battleship, I switch to HE, because once again, there's not the similar type of HE reduction, so might as well use it. My smoke ran out, so I start moving. Took one hit, it's not too bad. I was a bit slow to get moving once my smoke faded, so kind of my own fault really. Of course, the Blyskawica is a very fast ship, a very fast DD, like most gun-based DDs, but it has almost close to the Russian speeds really, or it might even have the Russian speeds honestly, because you can see my speed now. Well, I'm slowing down now since I'm in stealth again, but you easily break 40 knots without any issues with the speed boost on. Here I'm just stealth firing at them. It's easy to land the shells on battleships with the stealth fire, so like why not? I get fired, I do consistent damage, I break some modules, in this case anti-air modules, which helps our carrier. But yeah, the fire chance is quite nice. It's not like overwhelmingly impressive, but considering the sheer volume of shells you consistently pump out at the enemy, it ends up being very effective. Okay, I'm not gonna waste any more time. I'm basically just firing at this guy while moving out. I could farm a few additional hits, but he used his repair, and there's a kamikaze spamming torps at him. There's a New Mexico behind me. There's York down there. I don't know if our carrier's helping him as well. So this guy is dead. So rather than waste my time like trying to farm a couple of hits here, I'm gonna go see if I can deal with the Grimmy and the carrier up there. The Gremiashi is a ship I will definitively be buying if it goes on sale, and it's probably a ship that I will highly recommend for anyone else to buy as well if it happens to go on sale, because that ship is straight up overpowered. For a T5 ship, it's absolutely insane. It has the guns of basically a Kiev. It has insane goddamn guns, it has good torps, good concealment, good everything. The Grimmy is just a fantastic ship, and I think that's why they haven't really put it on sale lately, because it is so overpowered. It's probably one of the most overpowered T5 ships. It always surprises me when people go on about the Murmansk being overpowered, but no one mentions the Grimmy, because the Grimmy in the hands of a DD that knows what he's doing is just complete face roll. It beats other gun-based DDs of the same tier, even higher tier, quite easily, and it can still stealth torp and be efficient. So it's probably one of the strongest, honestly one of the strongest ships compared to its tier. I guess they nerfed all the ships. Usually what happens with a lot of the ships in this game is basically they nerf the non-premium ones, but they don't want to nerf the premium ones because they don't want the backlash of people who bought it and then the ship got nerfed, which is understandable of course, but it leads to a situation where the premium ships retain advantages over the non-premium ones. That's basically what happened with the Murmansk. They reduced the penetration of a lot of the shells of the T5 ships, but they didn't want to nerf it on the Murmansk since, well, they didn't want to be accused of basically nerfing a ship soon after it was released. So that's why the Murmansk has much better AP penetration than both the Omaha and the Marblehead, even though they're basically using the same guns. Like the Murmansk was loaned out Omaha to the Soviet Union, so it makes no sense that it would have better penetration, but because they wanted to balance it, that's the way it is. Oh, the Grammy is pushing up. Let's see if I can kill him. Oh well, I should be able to kill him. I have better fire rate, but honestly, the Grammy guns are fucking insane. You should probably see it now. You see I got the jump on him, he's down to 8k HP. And it's not like I'm missing shells either, but Grammy guns are no joke. That rate of fire, the accuracy on them, the sheer damage on them. Like, you can see how quickly it's melting me. I repaired the fire. Finally got the kill. I'm down to 2.8k. That's how strong the Grimmy guns are. Like, literally, that's a T5 ship. I'm a T7. And he's still able to stealth torp. Although I can stealth torp as well, still there's a 2-tier difference. That's one of the reasons if the Grammy ever comes on sale, I'm definitively buying that premium, because I just feel it's very, very overpowered right now. Anyway, it looks like I'll be able to score kill here. Nice, I got high caliber, only with guns, that's always nice. I didn't land a single torp this game. Didn't bother since I kind of made this commentary with the sole purpose of showing you how many hits you can basically just farm with this ship. This wasn't even the most optimal. Oh, whoops, bumped my hand into that. This wasn't even the most optimal game for farming hits, but you can still see how easy it was to farm well over 300. You can see both my missions got plenty of progression, and the damage wise, that's like 130k something, 135, something like that. So the Blyska is very, very good for this purpose. As usual, I will be starting with the modules. Or well, in this case, there's not really many modules to go over. But upgrades. Of course, upgrade wise, it's main battery, because this is gun-based DD mostly. Accuracy, once again, gun-based, most important factor here. Damage control system, you don't need propulsion mod. Usually propulsion mod is something I would have gone for in the past. You can see I have 4 of them because I've gone for it so often. But with the recent captain perk of moving last stand to 2 point, you no longer need it. So absolutely no need for go for it. And third, better maneuverability, reducing the rudder shift. Well, some might go for the speed propulsion. I prefer the steering gears because you spend a lot of time dodging shells and torpedoes in the ship, not as much sitting in smokes, honestly, because you're constantly firing, as you saw me doing in the commentary. So I prefer the rudder shift on this one. Consumable wise, I go for both premium smoke and premium repair and premium smoke. You can use the little bar here to change between doubloons and credit cost. Now, captain perks wise, concealment and acquisition. From here, situation awareness, you need to know if you're spotted, and buffing your reload by 10%. These are 2 extremely important 1-point perks. And then we get last stand for 2 points. It's obvious you should take it. There's no point, like, you don't need a torpedo reload, you don't need use the torps often enough. You don't need the expert marksman because basically your turret traverse is already 18 seconds. Yeah, I remember that correctly. So you definitely don't need to invest points in that. Third point, here you can choose between vigilance and superintendent. Both are very valid perks. Personally, I prefer superintendent, or basically I've been using this spec for so long, but both are honestly valid. I don't find myself getting torped that often on the Blyskawica, honestly, because you spend so much of your time pretty far away just spamming HE or AP that you don't get as close and personal with other DDs as you usually get with other gun-based DDs. So that's why I prefer the superintendent. But that doesn't mean that vigilance would be a bad pick. Honestly, I think both of these are very valid picks. In fact, if I intend to play ranked with this ship, I would definitely go for vigilance. So both very valid options, both have their upsides and downsides. Fourth point, advanced firing training. Your guns benefit from the full 20% range, which gives you a whooping 14.4 kilometer range. Also means a lot of potential stealth firing area you can use. The last points will obviously be going into concealment expert once I can save up enough points. And if you thought this was good at stealth firing now, I can only imagine how fantastically good it is if someone actually bothers to grind it all the way to getting this perk, since that would reduce the concealment from 7.5 to like 6.6, 6.7, something like that. So overall, would make it very, very powerful. Anyway, that was my Blyskawica commentary. I hope you guys enjoyed it.